scourge of hunger. The resources are there, the commitment is there, the visionary leadership is there, and the innovation is there. Together, we will create a future where the shadows of famine and malnutrition are forever a thing of the past, ensuring that our children and future generations inherit a world filled with abundance and hope.
Your Excellencies, honorable ladies and gentlemen, when we set out at the beginning of these 3 days, we aimed to engage on meaningful ways to end hunger. We are proud to say that we not only achieved these goals, but have far surpassed them. Through our deliberations, significant B2B connections were made, investments were pitched, driving us into meaningful action. Our convening has been truly successful in achieving what we set out to do, and you're excited to see how the momentum from this gathering will continue to build and strengthen the global efforts to end hunger once and for all. Indeed, a world without hunger is possible. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we will now proceed to high-level statements by esteemed dignitaries.
Excellencies, Eminencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, now would you please welcome to the podium His Excellency Dr. Abiy Ahmed, Prime Minister of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, and guest of honor to make his opening remarks.
Your Excellency William Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency Julius Maada Bio, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Your Excellency Amadou Oure Ba, Prime Minister of the Republic of Guinea, Your Excellency Gerd Muller, Director General of UNIDO, Madam Munich, Deputy Chairperson of African Union Commission, Honorable Taggese Chafo, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Agenyo Teshagar, Speaker of the House of Federation, Deputy Prime Minister Temesgen Turuna, Deputy Prime Minister and Vice President of our party, Adan Farah, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Let me begin by extending my gratitude to all participants for being part of this significant gathering. Over the past 3 days, your presence has not only enriched discussions, but has also left a lively mark on our city. Addis Ababa, the pulse of Ethiopia and the capital of Africa, is known for its spirit of unity, resilience, and warm hospitality. And I hope each of you have witnessed this during your stay. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the vision for zero hunger extends beyond merely addressing hunger and malnutrition. It calls for the creation of sustainable and equitable food systems where everyone has access to sufficient food. It's about enabling our population's dignified lives, free from basic wants. Achieving this is more than just a goal. It is a moral imperative and our collective responsibility to build resilient, sustainable agricultural systems that uplifts all our communities. In the session on challenges and solutions to combat hunger and food security issues, the urgent need to enhance resilience in agriculture has been examined. Climate adaptive practices, sustainable farming, and improved market access are key to empowering smallholder farmers who are the bedrock of global food security. Ethiopia has embraced these principles through its national economic reforms, increasing farmland productivity, advancing drought-resistant crops, and launching the Ethiopian Green Legacy Initiative, through which we have planted over 40 billion trees. During the session on mobilizing investments for sustainable food security initiatives, the necessity of substantial investments and strategic partnerships to drive lasting change has been acknowledged. Our Made in Ethiopia initiative exemplifies the power of such investments. Ethiopia's integrated agro-industrial parks serve as hubs for job creation, income generation for farmers, and economic resilience, enhancing our role in the global agricultural market. Excellencies, hunger is not an isolated issue and requires a unified and relentless global response. Our shared discussions highlighted several critical deliverables to guide our collective actions. First, on a global fund for food security, we have committed to establishing this dedicated financial resource to drive targeted investments in climate-resilient infrastructure, advanced agricultural technology, and disaster-resistant food system. This fund will be a lifeline, particularly for regions most vulnerable to food security. Second, on advancing technological innovation and knowledge sharing. To build resilience across food systems, we have agreed to create platforms that facilitate cross-border knowledge exchange and technology transfer, focusing on climate-smart agriculture and post-harvest management. Third, on strengthening policy and governance frameworks, we have noted that it is necessary to align policies across nations, which will foster fair market access and equitable food distribution systems critical for achieving global food security. Lastly, on supporting smallholder farmers, especially women in agriculture, we have affirmed that smallholder farmers are pillars of food security. Therefore, by expanding market access, providing inclusive financial options, and building capacity, we can empower them to feed their communities and the world. These deliverables are not just ideas. They are a roadmap, a call to action for every government, development bank, and the private sector to mobilize, invest, and collaboration. Integrating technology, promoting innovation, and building climate resilience must be central to our collective efforts. Let us transform these commitments into actions. In closing, I extend my gratitude once again to our co-organizers and to everyone who contributed to the success of this conference. Together, we can create a future where food security, dignity, and opportunity are accessible to all. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Dr. Abiy Ahmed, Prime Minister of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, the host country, for giving us his inspiring opening remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you once again to our esteemed guest of honor for those inspiring remarks. We next move on to welcome to the stage His Excellency Mr. Gerd Mueller, the Director General of the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, our co-organizer of the World Without Hunger Conference. Your Excellency.
Thank you and good morning, Excellencies. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, it's a great honor to welcome you all. President of Kenya, Sierra Leone, President, Prime Minister of Guinea, His Royal Highness, Chairperson from the African Union, and ministers from 25 different countries, and of course, you all distinguished guests, dear distinguished guests. First of all, I would like to thank our host, the President of Ethiopia and Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed for the excellent organization of this conference, your partnership and your friendship. Thank you. We know what to do after your speech. I underline totally your messages to the auditorium. A word. Yes. So I changed my speech with my own words. A world without hunger is possible, with peace and good governance, with huge investments in modern sustainable agriculture, with fair and sustainable supply chains, with progress by innovation and industrialization. So we all know Africa has great potential. We talked about this the last 2 days. But the continent needs real partnership. And today, now, I am calling on the industrialized countries. The industrialized countries, the G7, they must fulfill their commitments from the future, from the past. And that is the 0.7 goal. The climate fund commitment, a debt relief especially for LDC countries in Africa, access to the finance market, and fair trade and market conditions. The industrialized countries have to fulfill their given commitments. UNIDO is your partner for industrialization, economic growth, and job creation. Africa has the strengths, so make Africa strong again. That's my message. 6 of the fastest growing economies in the world are Africans, and strong governments are successful. For example, we have the President of Kenya, of Ethiopia, of Sierra Leone. Ladies and gentlemen, over the past 2 days, we have explored innovative solutions and new partnerships. Now we have to turn these into concrete actions. Our new study we have presented here together with FAO shows we do have the technologies and the knowledge. Only missing is the political will of the world politicians. We have the solutions, and the study shows even with additional, that is the figure of the conference, with additional 50 billion over the next yearly, over the next 10 years, we can end hunger. And that is about 2% of the yearly worldwide military budget. Ladies and gentlemen, dear guests, we call to action now. Thank you all for your great commitment, and thank you all for your great support. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, Mr. Gerd Mueller, the Director General of UNIDO, for those encouraging remarks. Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you once again, Mr. Gerd Mueller. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen,
Another warm round of applause to His Excellency for his very encouraging remarks.
thank you again. Now, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Monique Nsanzabaganwa, Deputy Chairperson of the African Union Commission, which is also the co-organizer of this World Without Hunger conference happening here in Addis Ababa with the theme, A World Without Hunger is Possible.
Morning, Your Excellencies. Your Excellency, Dr. Abiy Ahmed, Prime Minister of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia. Your Excellency, Julius Maada Bio, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone. Your Excellency, William Samoei Ruto, President of Kenya. Your Excellency, Amadou Uriba, Prime Minister of Guinea. Your Excellency, Dr. Miller, Director General, United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol duly observed. Allow me to stand here on behalf of His Excellency Musa Faki Mahamat, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, who could not be here because he is attending to another important event, but tasked me to come and present his message to you. So I start quoting him. It's with both honor and a great sense of responsibility that I address you today on behalf of the African Union Commission. As we gather here in this conference, millions of people around the globe continue to endure the unacceptable Up to 760 million people globally face hunger, which means 1 out of every 11 people on Earth. In Africa, more than 280 million people were affected, which means 1 in every 4 Africans. This is a crisis that no one should have to face in the 21st century. Hunger is not just a humanitarian crisis. It's a challenge to our collective morality. It is a violation of the most basic human right, the right to food, and an affront to the values of justice, equality, and dignity that we all cherish. The world is still far off track to achieve Sustainable Development Goal number 2, zero hunger, by 2030. The African Union is resolutely committed to ending hunger on our continent. Through Agenda 2063, our vision for a prosperous, peaceful, and integrated Africa, we have placed food security and sustainable development. The CADEP Malabo Declaration of 2014 reaffirmed our bold commitment to eliminate hunger and all forms of malnutrition by 2025, just 1 year from now. However, our most recent CADEP Biennial Review Assessment indicates that our continent is not on track to achieve this commitment. Your Excellencies, we must be clear. Hunger in Africa and in any part of the world is not a question of resources. Africa has the land, the people, and the potential to end hunger. What we lack is the coordinated action, the investment, and the political will to bring about the change needed. The time to act is now. And it is an unacceptable failure to allow hunger to persist any longer. The African Union, along with its member states, is ready to renew our commitment to ending hunger in Africa. As I mentioned earlier, we have developed a new 10-year CAADP strategy and action plan running from 2026 to 2035. And this strategy aims to build resilient and sustainable food systems for a healthier, more prosperous Africa. It seeks to boost food production, expand value addition, enhance intra-Africa trade, create jobs, and develop inclusive, resilient, and sustainable agri-food systems over the next decade. As we accelerate our efforts towards achieving food security, we call on the global community to join us in this fight. Ending hunger in Africa requires collective and coordinated action. In line with the new 10-year CAADP strategy, I call for the following actions. Action number 1, increased investment in agriculture and agri-food systems development. We need more resources dedicated to building sustainable agricultural and agri-food systems that can feed Africa and its growing population, that can protect the environment and strengthen local economies. Investment in infrastructure, in rural development, and technology is essential. Number 2, promote agro-industrialization. Transforming raw agricultural products into high-value commodities through agro-processing will not only create jobs, but will also increase the availability of nutritious processed food for local and regional markets. Number 3, climate-smart agriculture. Climate change is disproportionately affecting Africa's agri-food systems. We need greater support for climate-resilient farming practices, technologies, and water management solutions that enable farmers to adapt to changing weather patterns and mitigate environmental degradation. Number 4, inclusive nutrition policies. Hunger is not just about the quantity of food. It's also about the quality. Access to nutritious food is a basic human right. We must prioritize nutrition-sensitive policies, particularly for vulnerable groups such as women, children, the elderly, and displaced populations. Number 5, conflict resolution and peace building. Conflict is one of the primary drivers of food insecurity in Africa. The international community must continue its efforts to resolve conflicts, stabilize regions, and protect food systems from the destructive and disruptive impacts of war. Last but not least, number 6, strengthening global trade and market access. We need to remove all the barriers to trade and ensure that African agricultural products can reach global markets. The FCFTA is a critical step in fostering intra-Africa trade, but global cooperation is essential to ensuring food access for all. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, hunger in Africa is a solvable problem. As the African Union, we are committed to eradicating it, but we cannot do this alone. The scale of the problem demands that the global community stand with Africa. The world's response to hunger must be bold, coordinated, and urgent. We need to work hand in hand, governments, international organizations, the private sector, civil society, to create a future where hunger no longer exists, where food systems are resilient, and where every person has access to the nourishment they need to thrive. Let me conclude by re-emphasizing that ending hunger and building a more just, sustainable, and prosperous future for all is possible. I thank you for your kind attention. End of quote.
Thank you very much, Madam Nsanza Baganwa, Deputy Chairperson of the African Union Commission, for those powerful remarks given on behalf of His Excellency Musa Faki Mohammed, Chairperson of the African Union Commission. Thank you very much, Madam.
Thank you once again, Ms. Monique Nsanza Baganwa, who spoke on behalf of the African Union Commission. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is now an honor to call upon the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, His Excellency, Mr. Julius Madabayo. Join us in warmly welcoming the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone to the stage to address our gathering.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. First, I bring you warm greetings from the government and people of Sierra Leone. And I want to thank the government and people of Ethiopia, UNIDO, and the African Union Commission for organizing this remarkable gathering dedicated to building a world without hunger. This noble pursuit is a task for government, not only for governments or international bodies, as has already been alluded to, but a collective mission that urgently requires all of humanity's commitment, collaboration, and support. And that is why we are all here. Sierra Leone, my country, joins this critical mission with great determination and shared purpose. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the state of food insecurity in Africa and the world at large is alarming. The World Food Programme estimates that about 21% of Africa's population is threatened by moderate to severe hunger. In Sierra Leone, we understand firsthand the devastating impacts of hunger and malnutrition, with severe food insecurity affecting over 18% of our population. Food insecurity impacts every dimension of our lives, from a child's growth and development to their ability to learn and succeed in education, and ultimately their future opportunities. Addressing these challenges is not just a priority for my government, but a fundamental necessity for our nation's progress. In Sierra Leone, our flagship Feed Saloon program is our roadmap to boosting agricultural productivity, building resilient food systems, and achieving food security. Initiative directly taps into our immense agricultural potential, youthful population, and favorable climate, leveraging modern technologies to enhance productivity. Through strong collaboration with the private sector, development partners, our approach focuses on targeted policies that boost farm-level productivity while creating opportunities for innovation and private sector investments. Some of our successful strategies to drive sustainable growth in Sierra Leone are: 1, adopting a whole-of-government approach that is bringing together all relevant ministers and ministries to address food systems bottlenecks. 2, implementing targeted policies to reduce food imports and make the sector more competitive for our farmers. 3, promoting Sierra Leone as a viable agro-investment destination, forging strategic relationships and mobilizing over $1 billion in resources to develop our rice agro-industrial cluster to achieve rice self-sufficiency. Additionally, our school feeding program has proven to be an essential intervention in addressing hunger and malnutrition among school children. This program has significantly increased school attendance and retention, and enhanced academic performance by ensuring that over 500,000 students have access to nutritious meals during academic year. We are also investing in research to develop the best yielding, climate-resilient crop varieties for our diverse ecologies, especially by capacitating the Sierra Leone Agricultural Research Institute. Furthermore, our government is developing the country's first ever biometric national farmers registry to allocate resources more efficiently and make more informed policy decisions that will benefit our farmers. Lastly, our Feed Saloon program strongly emphasizes empowering women, who represent more than 70% of the agricultural labor force, from cultivation to processing and marketing. We do this by creating economic opportunities for our women and by enhancing local processing along the value chain. This commitment to gender equality and empowerment is a cornerstone of our effort to achieve food security in Sierra Leone. Ladies and gentlemen, it is clear that solving the complex problem of hunger and malnutrition requires global collaboration, as has already been alluded to. While taking proactive steps at the national level, We are equally leveraging global strategic partnerships. At COP28, Sierra Leone, Brazil, Norway, Rwanda, and Cambodia launched the Alliance of Champions for Food Systems Transformation, a new strategic coalition of ambitious countries determined to act urgently together. This initiative makes acting on food systems a political priority. Members commit to delivering universal access to affordable, nutritious, sustainable diets, aiming to accelerate major progress this decade. Your Excellencies, as we know, Africa's population is growing and is projected to rise to about 2.4 billion by 2050, and 2 in every 5 children in the world will be born in Africa. This underscores the pressing need for us to work together urgently to find sustainable solutions to the continent's raging food insecurity. We stand at a critical juncture, and our collective actions as governments, international organizations, academia, civil society, and the private sector will determine the future of food security and sovereignty in Africa and the world at large. The fact that more than 800 million people remain hungry highlights the significant challenge we face in meeting Sustainable Development Goal of zero hunger by 2030. While achieving a zero hunger world is undeniably an uphill task, it is not impossible. It is important to know that not all is gloom, as Ethiopia's success in achieving wheat sufficiency offers a beacon of hope and optimism. Ethiopia's ability to achieve wheat self-sufficiency through targeted technological interventions, institutional strengthening, and a supportive policy environment is a great example of what can be achieved when a confluence of strategic actions occur together. With visionary leadership and strong political will, we can harness Africa's vast arable lands and its demographic dividends to achieve our food security goals and create lasting transformation so that no child goes to bed hungry. It is in the interest of the world that Africa unlocks its agricultural potential. As leaders, we must pledge to use all our political capital to transform food systems, collectively intensify our efforts to achieve SDG 2, and bring our continent closer to a world free of hunger. I call on all stakeholders to adopt a comprehensive approach to addressing hunger and food insecurity in Africa and implement sustainable solutions that will have a lasting impact on bringing the world closer to achieving food security for all. I look forward to our collective efforts in creating a world without hunger for our current and future generations. Thank you for your attention.
We thank you very much, Your Excellency, Mr. Julius Madabayo, the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, who spoke on behalf of the people and government of Sierra Leone. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so very much once again, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen, we're highly honored and graced with the presence of heads of state and government.